All right, so we've dealt with the actual listing transformations on the last one, and now today, this one, we're going to go ahead and do the graphing part. So here, again, just like we did before, we already know this is absolute value. And we know it's going to move to the right 3. And so when we graph it out, we're going to follow the same process we graphed before. Let's make it exponent to the right. Right, so we, first off, as always, graph the parent graph. And again, that's absolute value. So if we go back to the foldable, it's a V. And we said that it goes to the right 3. So all we do is take this point here, 0, 0, and go over 1, 2, 3, and put a dot there. And draw a V. And that's it. That's all there is. Not hard. Simple, easy. And so that was our second step, was graph the transformation. Okay, so same process each time. So B, we're going to do the same thing. We already know what the parent graph is for B. That's square roots. And we already know we're going to the left here. So when we graph it out again, and it goes this direction. I'm sorry, should be dotted there. Ooh, Jesus, that was like a 7. All right, so put dot there, and we said we're going to move to the left 5. So that means we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and move everything over. It doesn't change direction. It goes the exact same direction that it was going in. So it goes this direction right here. Simple, easy, not hard at all. All right, so I'm going to go ahead and move on, though, and actually do example 5. And here we're going to put everything together that we just learned. So we're talking about telling the parent graph, listing the transformations, and we're going to graph them. So we're going to throw in some more functions here and see if how you do on these. And it should be pretty good, pretty easy. So, example 5. We're going to do everything. So we're going to tell the parent function. We're going to list the transformations. So we're doing with C and B. And then we're going to graph. And this, again, it's going to be simple, just like the other ones we've done individually been simple. This one's going to be simple too. All right, so with A, again, this is going to be simple. It's not going to be hard. I'm not going to throw anything at you that gets so confusing that you quit. Which I don't want you to quit at all. Okay. So again, we're telling what the parent function is. We're going to list the transformations, and then we're going to graph. And so here we have the function of f of x equals x plus 4 minus 3. So we have to figure out which one are we dealing with here? What function are we dealing with here? So with that, is there any exponent right here? Not written there, but it's understood to be there. But what happened, what was the one that actually had no exponent whatsoever, but it had a variable in it? Or if you want to look at it, it had an exponent of 1 right there. Which function had the exponent of 1? And if you think about it, that was linear. That was the f of x equals x, because that was to the 1 power there. So that's a linear function. Right? So now, again, we talked about the parent function. Now we need list of transformations. So the things that are happening here, and I like to go from the back to the front. So here, is that going left to right or up or down? And it should tell you that we're going up or down. And so that means we're going to go down 3. And then the other one here, that positive 4 right there, that tells you that we're going to go to the left 4. And here that one, and let me do this in green. This one here tells you what function we're dealing with. That's your linear function. All right, and then the last thing now is just to go ahead and graph it out. Just graph it. So we're going to follow the same process we did. I think I did enough. All right, so we know we're dealing with our linear function. So the first part again is to graph the parent function. A parent graph, sorry. And we know here the linear just goes up diagonal. We know that. So we're good on that. Not bad, not hard. All right, so then we go down and go to the left 4. So we're going to go down 3. So I'm going to put a small dot right there. So now we went down 3. That part right there. And then we go to the left 4. So 1, 2, 3, 4. We start at this point now. So since we went down 3, now we go 4. So here, 1, 2, 3, 4. And we do a line. So not hard at all. Now with it, don't go down 3 and then go back up to here and go over 4. You need to go down 3 and continue with that same part and go over 4. All right, so we're going to, so we graph the transformation. That's the second part. So we went down 3. And from there, went left 4. Ooh, not when, went left 4. So again, we moved down 3. And from that point, we went left 4. And we got that right there. So that's the important part right there that we have in the right spot. And I want you to label this too so we can see that I can understand that you know how to do it. And so we can see that you can do this. Because it's not bad. It's really not bad at all. All right, so let's go to B. We're going to do R of X equals e to the x minus 3. We'll put parentheses there. Now, most of the time, there will not be parentheses up there for this part. Normally, it would just be x minus 3 as an exponent and then plus 5. So that's, I'd put the parentheses there to make sure you understand that that's the inside part. That's the inside. All right, so here, what function are we dealing with? Exponential. Remember, that's the e to the x part. f of x equals e to the x. All right, so with that, we can now figure out what our transformations are. So we have, again, positive 4, a positive 5 back here. And then we have something going on here. There it is. Let's do this, yeah. And again, this part right here tells you what function you're dealing with. So you have to know your functions. If you don't know your functions, this part's going to be messing you up all the time. And I can't help you out unless you study it yourself and know it. You have to know them. And if need be, I can do quizzes on top of that too to make sure you got them. But I don't know. Hopefully not. All right, so here, that plus 5 means that we're going up 5. And the -3 means that, again, we're going opposite of what you think. So instead of going left, we're going to go right 3. We're not going right -3, we're just going right 3. Okay, and so now we just go ahead and graph it out like we've been doing. And let's do this, because I need to make sure I go up 5. Let me do this down here. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Okay, cool. That works. All right, so with this again, number 1 is to graph it. Graph the parent. So here, I'm going to give you this every time. It's for exponential function, it's going to go through 0, 1 every time, unless it's another transformation or something happening, but every time it's going to go through that. And again, this is going to be dotted. I'm going to make this a dotted line. All right, so we have our dotted line going on there. All right, so now we make our transformations. So from this point, it's going to go up 5. Sorry, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So let's move this up a little bit. Move that right there. All right, so move it up 5. And then we go to the right 3. So 1, 2, 3. Now this one's going to be a little funky looking, but it's going to be okay. And so with this, normally we said the asymptote is like right here on the x-axis. So here, if that moved up 3 and moved up 5, that means the asymptote is going to move up 5 too. So that's going to move up to this line right here. That's going to be your asymptote. And the graph is going to go like this. Again, don't touch the asymptotes. And it goes up. That one's a little funky looking, little weird one. So yeah, that one's a little bit weird. But again, we went up 5 to this point here, and then from that point we went over 3. I know there's a lot of stuff going on here, and it's kind of fuzzy. Why is it going so fuzzy like that? All right, so but that's the way we're doing it. We're going to put the parent graph down, and then we're going to go ahead and do our graph our transformations. So we went up 5, and from that point we went right 3. Right. So that is that. Those are the two things there that we graphed them out and we put everything together. All right, so now let's go ahead and go into a practice.